saw you dancing. The room was filled with your grace and your energy. You got a funky blow, you know how to dance. Freedom is what you're looking for. You're an independent dancer. Ooh, you blow my mind. Sexy me, shake your booty. I'm running for you, hard club nights. They know the meaning. You blow my mind. You're the funkiest woman I ever saw. You're the independent dancer.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, China. I'm Tess and you are watching SkillzVault. It is so nice to be here again, but it is your last chance to grab money, to play with us in the finals. No excuses today. Let's go. Let's play together. It is your actually last chance to grab money because there is in a pot like $5,000 in Bitcoin vault, and if you will win today, you will have a chance to fight for it. Fight for glory, fight for China. Come on, play with us and let's start. Explainer video. Hi there, SkillzVault is finally live. There's an opportunity to find new global esports stars who had not had a chance to show themselves so far or who are simply hiding their presence from the world. Now it is a chance for them to be on everyone's lips. Perhaps this is what we are waiting for. Perhaps it is you who will meet your idol and try to become the best duo partner in global competition between countries. Of which countries we are talking about?
There are 5 countries participating in SkillzVault. Korea. Registration starts on the 9th of August. The finals, in the other hand, will start on the 18th of September. Japan. Registration for this country will start on the 30th of August, and the final part will start on the 10th of October. Vietnam. The qualifiers will start on the 9th of September. Final part will start on the 10th of October. China will start qualifying on the 27th of September, while the finals will take place on the 6th of November. Brazil, which you can sign up for from the 11th of October, while the finals will take place on November.
Both stars are for your disposal, but only if you try you'll be able to find out who you play better with in duo. Represent your country and fight for the SkillzVault champion title and for $6,000 in Bitcoin Vault per region. Will you be the best in your country individually? We will find out in the finals, but if you will win, you will get additional $5,000 in Bitcoin Vault. Don't wait, sign up now. As you've heard, my dear China, today is the last chance to qualify to play in this great international tournament called SkillzVault. And if you will win today, if you will qualify to the finals, you'll be able to play with the stars. And we have 2 stars from each region. From China, we have this beautiful girl, Siam, and this is my interview with her. Hello, 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 I'm Tesri and you are watching SkillzVault. This interview is for us to get closer to our star. Today with me is Achin from China. Hi, hello, how are you today?
Hello，大家好，我是来自中国的阿庆，我今天很开心能参加这个活动。
Perfect, perfect. We're gonna have a little chat with you today. Are you ready?
OK，我准备好了。
Okay, so first of all, who are you going to be for SkillzVault?
我在本次的节目上担任的是主播明星来参加的这个活动，然后有机会的话也会参与这次活动的比赛吧。
Oh yeah, I hope so too. I will keep my fingers crossed for you to be in the finals. But for now, let's talk about the players. Who do you think are you going to play with?
参加这个活动，我希望的话，肯定要有我们中国的玩家参加，因为我比较支持我们中国的选手。
Okay, communication, shooting, finding a perfect weapon. What are you going to focus on during each game?
比赛的话，会注意圈形吧，还有圈刷的时间，还有肯定每个队友的武器这些物资都是要比较注意的。最重要的是，我觉得，队伍之间的合作和配合还是最重要的，其次才是看一些比赛中出现的情况。
Totally agree. Communication is the key point. But what is going to be your role in a team?
我和我朋友们就是队友一起玩游戏的时候，我一般担任的是突击手的位置，就是我是冲在最前面的，冲锋陷阵的那一种类型。
Okay, aggressive girl. I like it. I like it so much. Who do you think should participate in the event?
我觉得热爱游戏的玩家，对游戏有一定理解、一定技术的玩家都可以参加这个节目。首先，你肯定要热爱这个游戏，你才能投入这个游戏、投入这个比赛的这个过程。然后最重要的是享受这个比赛的过程。
Achin, according to you, what is SkillzVault?
我认为这次这个比赛是一场很大的一个比赛，因为是国际性的一个比赛。它最大的优点就是你不一定是职业选手，你才能参加这个比赛。如果你是一个热爱游戏的人，你都可以参与到这次活动，实现你的梦想，因为它毕竟是一个全球国际性的比赛，不只是就不一定你得非到是职业选手，你只要热爱这个游戏，热爱吃鸡，你都可以来参与。然后希望大家也认真关注一下我们这次比赛，然后看我们这次比赛的活动。
Oh yeah, you've heard that. Sign up right now, grab your phone and jump straight into the battle. I'm sure we will support you. And thank you. Make sure to check out our social media to be up to date with SkillzVault. Thank you. See ya. Okay, so it was signed, and if you want to see more videos like this, just go to our YouTube channel. It is called SkillzVault, and you can type it in YouTube, and there is a plenty of videos you can watch, like previous transmissions, VODs, streams, and you can actually watch everything on this channel. So go there, and now let's watch my second interview with Yu Kao. Hello, I'm Tesri and you are watching SkillzVault. This interview is for us to get closer to the stars, and today with me is Yu Ho from China. Hello, man.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Fantastic. I'm fine too. So I will ask you short questions. Please answer as honestly as possible, okay?
Okay.
First of all, I would like to ask you, who are you going to be for SkillzVault?
我是作为明星主播被邀请过来的，我肯定是更想去当一名参赛者，去投入在游戏和比赛中，去切身感受那种经历。
Okay, glad to hear that, but let's talk about those players. So, who do you think are you going to play with during SkillzVault?
我喜欢那种饱含热血的青少年，包含着自己对游戏的热爱，一定要是那种敢拼敢搏的人去参加这种游戏，才会有更多的精彩的部分可以呈现给大家。
Passion. I like that. What are you going to focus on during each game, huh?
我肯定会注重的是，首先是对一个落地物资的一个抢夺问题，一个人手分配的问题，队友该救与不该救这些东西，肯定会去大局观的去思考这些方面。
What is going to be your role in a team?
我一般是作为一个狙击手去观察、去了解敌人的动向的一个角色。
Okay, so no hiding in the bush. I like that. But tell me, who do you think should participate in the event?
各种各样的吧，这个游戏它是，可以是很多，它有各种自己想法的，就不管是他玩的厉害或者不厉害，都应该参加这个比赛，因为这个游戏就是一个娱乐性、竞技性比较友好的一个游戏。
According to you, what is SkillzVault?
这个比赛可以让很多抱有着自己的电竞梦想的人，可以更好的去踏入国际的一个电竞舞台。我真的希望大家可以踊跃的去参加这个 SkillzVault 的比赛，希望大家可以在这里面取得很好的成绩，希望大家可以完成自己的梦想，去追逐自己的梦想，做一个拼搏的人。
Okay, you've heard that. Confidence in voice. Yeah, I think this is the time. Sign up right now. Grab the phone and jump straight into the battle. Thank you very much, Yu Kao. Thank you very much, Yu Kao, for this quick interview. Thank you very much. And information for you. Don't wait. Sign up in right now and check out our social media because we are publishing there some interesting photos, videos, and etc. So see you soon. Thank you. Now you know our stars from China, Cyan and Yu Kao, and let's meet our casters. Let's go, Professor Tarzan and Highland Wolf. Hello, guys. It is so nice to see you again. Professor, how are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great, actually. It's going to be a long day, but I'm looking forward to it. And today is going to be, like this last bits of pilots that we're going to see, right? This region has been an absolute nutter of a region, I have to say. Very, very talented. So much competitiveness. So, yeah, can't say anything more. It's just pure excitement.
Okay, and you, Highland Wolf, are you ready for the last qualifications for China?
Oh man, I'm ready. We've already seen, of course, 3 different qualifiers, and as I think I have to echo what Tarzan has said, it's been the best region to watch so far, and it's provided the best entertainment when it comes to skill level on the battlefield. And now I'm really excited to see what, of course, the Last Chance Saloon with these players that it can put out onto that battlefield as well.
And last week, guys, we had double chicken dinner, and when it comes to China, it's actually a very big thing. Do you think, and this is a question to both of you, is it possible today to have double chicken dinner?
I mean, it's always possible, right? But I think the chances are actually quite slim. I don't know why. I just feel like it's just so hard to win 2 games like back to back in this region. And it's the same when you ask me whether they can top the global charts when it comes to getting the highest points, you know, in that finals, because it's such a competitive region. There's so many good players, and you suddenly just get easily punished for the smallest mistakes.
Okay, I like this answer. And you, Highland Wolf? Just yes or no. Just yes or no.
Probably yes. I would have to say yes. Probably
Okay.
we could see a double chicken.
Okay. So last question in this segment, because we will come back to you later. Highland Wolf, last week I asked you about cryptocurrencies. Now I will ask you, what do you know about NFT? What is NFT?
No, I can't believe you asked me this. That's true. Why? This is like, it's gone in one ear, and I knew about it in the day. We listened to them talk about it, and then it just comes straight out the other and gone out that window beside me. That's where it's gone.
Okay. So now you need to listen this guy very carefully, as we all. If you want to know something about NFT, this guy will tell you actually everything.
NFT stands for non-fungible token. It means that it's one token which is unique. It represents the uniqueness. There's only one. With SkillzVault project, we are launching a series of NFTs related to games, influencers, and competitors that will represent certain figures, certain personas, as well as the teams. So stay tuned for NFT series related to SkillzVault.
All right, so now you know what is NFT, and if you are wondering how to play with us, let's go with another material. Hi there! SkillzVault is finally live. There is an opportunity to find new global esports stars who had not had a chance to show themselves so far, or who are simply hiding their presence from the world. Now it is a chance for them to be on everyone's lips. If you are from China and your unfulfilled dream is to play alongside a star and become a professional esports player, there's only one way you can make it happen: SkillzVault. But how can you participate in it? It's very, very easy. You enter the specially prepared SkillzVault website, which you will find at the address skillvault.gg. Then you will find the Sign Up tab. There you will be able to see the option to sign up for one of the 4 qualifying tournaments. Thanks to that, you will join the stars who are waiting for you in the match stage of the tournament. And which stars we are talking about?
Science68 is the first Chinese representative with whom you can form the best duo in a fight for the global SkillzVault champion. Yush6 is the second representative of China waiting for you. Remember to sign up as soon as possible.
Okay, so remember that there are 4 qualifying rounds. So even if you can't sign up for the first one, we'll accept you on the second with open arms. So if you are ready to become the best, it is worth knowing how and what you will fight for. In each country, the tournament was divided into 3 stages. The first is the qualifying phase, the second is the match phase, and the third is the final. Together with the stars, you will take part in 2 of them, gaining both individual points and those that will add up to the global SkillzVault ranking. If you are the best in your country, a big share of the $6,000 prize pool in Bitcoin Vault awaits you. But that's not all. If your country turns out to be the best among all participants, you will receive a whopping $5,000 in Bitcoin Vault prize and the SkillzVault champion title, as well as eternal respect and a chance to be noticed by headhunters looking for players. If this sounds like an opportunity to you, don't waste it. Sign up now. And we are back again in the studio, and let's start with Professor Tarzan, because we often say in the studio that you will actually smash everyone in the lobby if you will actually play, and this is your
Did I say
words.
that?
Yes, you said that
Yes.
many times. So let's imagine that
It's
you are
kinda true.
Let's imagine that you are playing today. Like close our
Okay.
eyes and okay, Professor Tarzan is actually near Pochinki right now. Okay, let's imagine that. And please tell me how your gameplay looks like by step by step. What are you focusing on? What are you going to do?
Well, to be fair, I don't think I'm going to land Pochinki, but if I do, I would work from the outskirts of Pochinki. I'd find that vehicle first. I'll park it well. Okay, have basic loot. Wait for someone to make mistakes, and then slowly move my way in, knowing what info I provide to my enemies. Then they use what they provide to me, and so I think it's smart aggression. I would say I wouldn't really use brute force. If I can get something done with a small amount of effort, I will. But if you need me to go all in, so it's 99 to 100 HP close combat, I will do it as well.
Okay. All right. I hope one day I will see you playing PUBG Mobile or Peacekeeper Lite or Game for Peace one day, I hope. Okay, Highland Wolf, last time I asked you about cryptocurrencies, NFT. Now, what do you think about global warming?
Global warming. I mean, it gets a little bit toasty. I'm not gonna lie. In my room right now, when you have the PC on, it warms up quite a lot. But genuinely, it's quite interesting. At least in Scotland, we've got the conference coming soon.
Okay. We don't have a video for that today, but okay.
No, there's no video.
Actually, the question is different, and this is a question for both of you. It is kind of a quiz. So if you could rank from the most important to the least important when it comes to gameplay, okay? And we have, listen to me, shooting, we have rotations, we have having a car, we have good usage of utility, and we have knowledge of the map. We have 5 things. Let's start with you, Highland Wolf.
Honestly, I was just gonna say I've forgotten
So shooting, rotations.
I can go first.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Professor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I should have be reminded, but anyway, I think it's shooting first, because if you didn't have the actual skill control, and then you just can't rep fights up. You have everything set up, then you just lose a very, very bad fight because you can't shoot. So I think that's probably the most important thing. So it will be shooting, then map knowledge, which allows you to make then rotations. And let me think about the next thing. Then it would be cars, because if you know the landscape, if you know rotation, skills or timing, then you can make use of what you have, right? So if you don't have a car, fine. So that would be my rank. I feel like I might have missed one thing, but that would be essentially it.
All right. I like this. I like this so much. And you, Highland Wolf, what do you think? Shooting,
I would
rotations,
probably
having
say
a car?
I would say about guns, and then I would probably go again towards when it comes to locations. I put a little bit higher priority on personally the rotations and join that up with the vehicles, because I think that I see so often the difference between what you see majorly that is obvious to me between low and high level gameplay is that the speed and the way that teams rotate and players rotate around the map. And that's something that I think if you can master just a little bit, you can really improve your gameplay quite a lot.
Okay, I like that too. For me, I think shooting. And then, of course, some rotations. And shooting is the most important thing. Like Professor said, it is very, very important when it comes to the game when you are shooting, actually. So, guys, talking about the game. The first game of today, the first game of last qualifiers from China. It's starting in about 4 minutes, so I will leave you now. Guys, let's talk about this game. Come on, let's play. Last chance for China to play with us in the finals.
Let's go.
Let's go. We are ready for it. Tarzan, we, of course, as we said, the final two games these teams and these players just they have to really take the opportunity to grab and then be able to play, of course, with those celebrities later on. I think, quite frankly, coming into today, we're going to see the most competitive, or at least I'm hoping to see the most competitive games so far.
Oh yes, like for sure. Because I think some of these players, I think it's expected that some of them have tried their luck before in the previous 3 qualifications, and love the fact that a lot of them are coming back. But so if they come back, that means they are still not giving up. So that's a great mental. But it's also the fact that they've learned something, right? We talked about very punishable mistakes. Of course, like it's a very, very good region, but of course we can always still improve, right? So I'm looking for some very, very tight, very, very competitive fight, very eager players, I would say, but sometimes like someone who will still go out with full aggression, no remorse.
To be fair, though, you've really got to then look now coming into the rest of the tournament. And yes, you've got these 2 games to play, but you've also got to look back as well to the extent actually there's 3 other players who have already qualified. And if they're anything like what we saw, quite frankly, in last week's qualifier, I'm really scared for not only the rest who have qualified, but also the player who qualifies here. I think we've got to really show something amazing coming into the tournament, because if they don't, that's when it gets a little bit tricky, because they're going to be up against some real tough competition.
Yeah, I think one thing that really interests me or intrigues me would be how the format's a little bit different between the qualification and the finals. And from what I see, right, I think it's actually not too different for this region, just because the general level or that caliber is set pretty high in public lobbies, same as this custom room that we've made. So it's going to give us a little bit more, indicative value, I would say. But absolutely agree with what you said. And man, like it's been so close so far. Some of these fights you can see it's between good and better. It's not between good and bad, and I think that is what we love to see. And secondly, wow, like it's down to those small things. Like we say, it's very, very small, fine details that makes those differences.
Is all about, of course, those points, so 2 tars, and it's about the aggression these players are willing to take, because the 30 points per kill that is what these players can get in each of these games is something that I think has really been the table turner for all of who qualifies in not only China, but also the rest of the regions that we've seen before, right? Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, and I think we're going to see something similar when it comes to Brazil too. I also think, though, that do you then weigh, of course, those 30 points higher, because you've also got so many points coming towards you if you can survive later in the lobby. And I think that is then in China, because there are so many players, put even more at higher importance.
It is very, very tricky. I would say where you drop really affects that, because sometimes the selection or your choice of drop spot kind of show what type of player you are. So if I drop somewhere, then I would expect to face a particular type of player, and kills are always good, right? But if you can take these kills out of these scared players instead of those who are always born ready to fight, it may be a very good way to build your momentum. But like you said, we know that those kill points are so important. Out of the lobby, top 40 gets some placement points, and of course is a 5-point difference at the bottom bit. If you're in the mid tier, I would say like 10th to 20th, something like that, is a 10-point difference. But in the top ranks is a 20-point difference. So that 20-point difference is not going to matter if you can actually get a few more kills. And when we look at those global charts right now, Highland Wolf, it was Japan who beat the side of Korea first, although we had a very good Korean player, but it was a second place with 1 more kill compared to Chicken Dinner with 1 fewer kill. So the math does come through. The aggression needs to be calculated, but nonetheless, it's the best of PUBG that you need to play.
Also, I'm just always very sad that the celebrities don't get to add up points, because I always love to go back to the Vietnam celebrity games where we saw those 1,000-point matches and like 21 kills,
no way.
pentakills coming out. That was something else when it comes entirely to the world of PUBG Mobile. But
Yes.
quite honestly, coming into this first qualifier now, we're obviously just waiting to get into the first game. I'm very excited. I do believe, of course, we've got one of Miramar, one of Erangel. I think then it also speaks to the importance when it comes to being always as good on both of these maps compared to obviously just a lot of time teams are great or players are great in Erangel, but they struggle more so in these Miramar Sanout games.
It's a very valid point. I actually have, I've coached before. Like, to be fair, like, Testry's seeing this, right? Like, Highland Wolf is the person who watched me play as a player. I'll say that again, and he can put down
Yes.
Wolf certified for my player status, right? But when it comes to the life thereafter, the afterlife, coaching or whatnot, yes, it's a very real thing, what you said. Players knowing a particular map so much better that they can look so... Is that a better word? So noob on the other, almost, because we talk about map knowledge. Yes, at the higher level, everyone can shoot. So it's about knowing the terrains as we head into this one. 49 players, a healthy amount of players, and so you just need to outlive around 10 in order to get some placement points. But we all know we're here for a lot more.
Oh man, quite honestly though, Tarzan, we're already on that test because it's Miramar is the first map. And yes, Erangel's going to come later, but when we saw that first game last week, that was some crazy plays. I mean, obviously you could hear it in our voices. We were impressed, quite frankly, through the entirety of the match by a majority of those players, but you're talking about the level here coming into the China qualifiers, and it's almost to an extent some of these players, and I'll echo it from last week, to the PMPL level.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Like, if we just start off with exactly what we saw here, it was that, small mechanic, right? When we talk about awareness. Like, player number one here with a 360 I button scout just to make sure, oh, but the kill feed is popping already. Right here, we are in Chimacera. Not quite as hot yet as we have player number one. Okay, this player name. This is the insulating heat insulation guy, right? Like, that was his name. And so,
no.
Yes, it's great.
Sounds like one of those heating companies.
Oh, my Lord. But Picardo is a different story. A lot busier. 4 players, to be fair, is not too busy, like for Picardo, but it's still pretty good. And right here, some split compounds to the east of La Bandita. A very tricky area to play, if you do ask me. If you didn't have cars, find yourself just running in the open, right? So, yeah, this is General Dog. Is that actually the name? What name is? Envy as well. Maybe, is that from the actual Envy? We need to find out.
There seems to be so many, though, when it comes to these clans, or should I say, really squads, because you do have sometimes some of these. We've also got these options. These are beautiful options, by the way, all in Chinese, might I add as well. But as we do go back towards the Envy, I quite honestly am very excited to see where teams and where players around the same kind of teams do tend to drop, because when you look towards Picardo, right, in the first game last time, we saw an entire series of players drop in that one spot, and it was an absolute bloodbath.
I love bloodbaths. I'm terrible. I think it's because of Squid
Quote
Game.
that
Like,
and put it on morning
much.
posts.
Like, literally, like, everyone's talking about this series, right? I watched it last week, and it makes me, it tilts my head the wrong way, right? But right now, it's also tilting the head the wrong way. King looking towards the right when he needs to make sure that he's looking left. 20 GHS takes that kill in Monte Nuevo.
Oh, and GHS so as well. When you look towards Monte Nuevo, I think one of these locations where you haven't quite frankly seen so much some of the action take place. I'm really looking towards those tighter locations, like of course Miramar on the Los Leones, when you're talking about El Pozo, of course Picardo we've already mentioned, in these high priority locations. Can I just also say that this is the most beautiful zoom-in camera we have ever seen. I mean, if you wanted to talk about getting closer to the action, Tarzan, this is about as close as you get into it.
We talk about the small things, right? The pixels is what we're seeing.
The
Look at the
pixels,
windowsill,
you
so
can see them all.
beautiful. You know what? Like, speaking of windowsill, we talk about small things, yeah? Like mechanics. Man, you know, one of the things that I've practiced quite a lot as a player is for that small maneuver when you have to jump up to the windowsill so you can peek off it. You know, it's so hard. Like, it's so hard to master, but it's those things that you get heavily rewarded. You know?
can
like,
peek
you can
close
only-
up right now.
Right now, yes, for sure. And it feels like playing a different game. It's like these treasure hunt games or whatnot. Okay, it's those like escape rooms, right? You're looking at that wall. Can I find that clue? Look at that. Look at that lock. And with a very
Where
big
is it,
mic
Tarzan? I don't see it.
I don't know. Oh, you know, and then zooming in. You know what? Like people, you can call it a flex or whatnot. I just have for fun, you know, trying to translate names sometimes, and I will continue to have that fun. I have it today and then for our finals, and that's the 2 times that I'm going to have. I don't know when's the next time that I'm going to cast, you know, a Chinese lobby. Like this is going to be very close to my heart, but I literally cannot translate the player's name. It doesn't make sense to me. I can see the word wave, I can see white, but that's about it.
Could you imagine like trying to play a game of PUBG Mobile like this though, if this was your perspective? I mean, this takes the cake when it comes to a whole nother level of difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, like this is where I rage quit, but we also talk about mentality, right? Like if this happens to me in this tournament, when I know if I can keep my crap together, I may be able to get thousands and thousands of dollars of Bitcoin vaults, I would hold my horses, I would keep calm, I would meditate, I would drink the most precious tea in my cupboard, I don't know, like have everything to have myself calm, right? But I can't spend too long doing that, right? My map knowledge has to come in to know where I actually go AFK, and right here. This is Chimicera. We go back to Heat's installation. He is just off the outside of the right side of your screen right there at that bottom part. And we talk about Chimicera. I actually find this place so interesting to talk about just because you can play this top side as we have the landscape. You can see that elevation and the flag and coming through might not be for his benefit.
Oh, but he insulation. He seems to be almost getting picked off because ADT is sort of positioning to take those shots, but is it then too much trigger discipline? Because there was one of those beautiful points where he jumped around that alleyway in between those 2 buildings at the start when he first came out their own original building. And I thought that could have been that moment that they get taken out. Because if you want to escape as heat insulation, right, you have to jump over in that animation. And it does slow you down if you wanted to try get out of the way.
I love it. Like, when you actually say heat insulation and you recognize that's him, you know, sometimes that is one of my proudest moments, you know. And you see King right here. It's not the first time that we've seen this player. He sees the flare drop. Oh, wants to challenge this one with the bait as well, with the AK, saying that you've got the MK, I'm not scared.
Oh man, if that landed through our window, that would have been like a god grenade right there in terms of like straight first game plays. I mean, we got a few games to cast today when it comes not only to this tournament, and if this is going to be the level that we set, I'm really excited to see, of course, when it comes particularly those Molotovs, when it comes to those grenades, what we're going to see later on in the day, because already I am excited, of course, for these first 2 games. And I think King, one of these players who, yes, as we mentioned, have played through multiple qualifiers now, but is never really found their footing when it comes to the late game stage, the ultimate late game, 3, 2 players, 4 players remaining. Because, yes, they get the kills, but the points and placements don't add up.
Maybe this is the reason why. I mean, he just wants to fight so much. He keeps taunting the other player. And right now, he's actually don't have the HP advantage at all. And right now, the reset can come through. Still wants the Molotov. And that will be him just escaping Buzz level of health.
Yeah, this is so close, so he needs to find a position to realistically heal here. He tries to go for it, but yet a Molotov grabs him. I have no idea if they were looking at that situation. Might have been a mistake, but he grabs that kill anyways. I think luck more than anything, because had the opponent chased that, King might have just gone down. Either way, though, down towards, of course, ADT. And can I ask you, what is this name? Because it always seems so beautiful when we ask.
Like 心态 literally means mentality. What a great time to ask a good question.
I know, right?
Like literally, his name is mentality or mental. Like, and you know, I was speaking to some Chinese players the other day who plays in Europe. I'm not going to do any self promotion, but we've got some very, very good players in here, and we talk about this team and this term, I would say, a lot. Like literally, there's a term called. So just now, the name is literally 心态, which means mentality, and 崩了 is another term, means shattered. So he literally told me, oh, like there were times that the team just had the mentality shattered. 心态崩了. And the thing that I like about Chinese as well is you feel, the texture of that word in the way it's pronounced. 崩了 sounds so brittle. It sounds like something's breaking, right? So right now,
Sounds
it's
like
friends because we've got 2
Just shout
agencies.
that at me.
Oh yeah,
You scare me.
yeah.
You make me sit down like in my chair.
Hey, but we have a more poetic name here now. Like 2 friends now running into this area close to the Picardo Bowl, very close to Picardo. And right now, 79, his name literally means, okay, I'm just going to hold on to that one because that could have been a very bad shot. And right now, finding his friends, and now the kill feed pops, and they know is going to be a bit of potentially a lover's quarrel.
I mean, isn't that what happens every time we try to cast sometimes, Tarzan? it seems sometimes like that is the case. We're trying to keep it on the low. Oh yeah, we've got to keep it on the low. Sometimes though it's beautiful. Sometimes though, for the most part, it's beautiful. That's why we're so good together, Tarzan. That's why we're so good. And King, barely getting over our ridgeline, will stay good for himself. And I think it's really risky in a way that actually King was driving through that location in the midst of a fight, in the midst of the shooting, driving particularly slowly, more so when it comes to also the open and those inside the compound just below this hillside, actually who could still shoot down upon him.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's driving, right? We talk about vehicles all the time. At least he is driving. And right now, still like nothing really happened in Picardo. All of them just trying to loot, make small rotations, but this is where they need to make this through. What is the issue with these players? They keep hot jumping against each other. FSL, 2 players of that, and it will be the other one. 69 actually is the name. And wow, superstition is the translation, huh? And so
it is.
I'm actually quite superstitious, like when it comes to Picardo locations. So I play only 3 positions, to be fair. I play the arena, I play the 5 stack on that south side, and also play that casino. Those are the 3 places that I have faith in. I feel like wherever I go, or should I say anywhere else I go in Picardo, it's just not going to work out well for me because there's no elevation. I don't think it's strong enough. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't matter. You just need to make one small mistake against this type of weapon. The Groxel was strong, but 20 also had that AWM. We want to see more bolt action snipers, guys.
But what is particularly stronger here? Because when I think about where I want to drop to, I always think, well, the casino looks really great because obviously you can maneuver your way back towards the hills behind you. But there's also the problem here where you've got a player like GHS who is behind that casino, who can shoot you down when it comes to later points. I would argue, though, when it comes to probably the early game, Casino's slightly better if you know that no one's going to be dropping there. But later on, I would maybe say that a 5 stack is slightly better because if you were ending up with a zone closing around Picardo, you want realistically that full wall protection is a lot cleaner, whereas Casino is a lot more open and scary. Plus, also, you have the height elevation, right, which is also important when it comes to those final moments where it stops those other players moving around.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I think that is the correct assessment of it. Elevation is always important, but it's high ground upon high ground sometimes in this sort of landscape. We move over to graveyard. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. AK Provide come close, but that is just the last bullet landing before the reload needs to happen.
That was a two-shot. They're on to 39, though, as the second kill goes through and down to 25 players. The zone has gone away from Picardo, but it's gone over towards Picardo Hills, and this is where it gets really exciting for me, Tarzan, because we get to see that exact high ground action. And I love when Miramar ends up around these high hills, because it really then speaks to your knowledge, particularly around the elevation and around these specific points inside of the hills. These small dips, like you can see Mikey, who is, by the way, another one of the players looking a game to qualify.
Oh, I'm already making these sound effects, man. Like, I can't wait to see an AWM kill, because I feel like we haven't seen that enough in the Chinese qualification. This region has those skills, and, you know, sprays, we've seen it all. You know, hip fire, close range, drop shots, all that stuff. Give me the juicy headshot, man. And right now, this is this in Phase 4. This is a tricky landscape. We talk about this in pro play all the time. You can really acknowledge a team, acknowledge a player. Now it's rich to rich 1v1.
Yeah, indeed, it's Mikey. So important. He takes it. He does grab it, and that's the second kill going over towards him. And his marshmallow suit, he gets right back down into the crevasse. And quite honestly, Mikey, that was a very important kill, because Mikey, one of these players, trying for at least the last two qualifiers. I'm not sure if he was in the first one, Tarzan. It's been a long, hard road for him to even get these kills.
Yes, but that is what you get, you know, by coming back and keep trying. Like, it's so important. And right now, we talk about this hill all the time. It's, yes, high ground upon high ground. It's about these split compounds as well. Like, they can be extremely strong, but you need to pick the right one. And right now, I believe 74 is using a Car 98 to try to, okay, like, that is probably a better time to use spray. But, I mean, that would be one of the fanciest shots that we've seen in this tournament. If he lands it. Yeah, like, do I... Okay, I probably would choose, you know, a kill over fancy points. And right now, 47 is working through from the other side. Power Grid is also very strong. We've got some of these dips. And it's great to see Institute in here. Why is the second time that we've seen them.
All right, Institute returning more, and I think this is a battle, particularly here, of all of these players who return multiple times. But the rest of Madgi is also returning once more, and he looks for a shot and he finds him. The second kill for him, and Institute will be wiped off the board. That hurts, though. Getting wiped out now, Tarzan, right when you're so close towards the final 10. It really puts a stopper in your potential chances for getting inside that top 1 place. Because the next game, you have to come out swing. You have to have those 10, 11 kill games, which is also so risky.
Yeah, I mean, like, the risk is also just because it's solo mode, right? Like, you cannot get revived, of course. It's these weak sites that we're seeing. Like, every time, I feel like half of the fights that we've seen, it's just based off someone getting an info of a previous spray or previous fight, make sure that they come in, you know, within that opportunistic window, and they just get it. And I think that is the thing, right? Like, when you're playing solo mode, it's not just solo mode. In this game itself, whenever you shoot, even if you get 2, 3, 4 kills, it doesn't matter. If you need to make it towards the end, you have to remember what info you've been given to the rest of your enemies. And that was something that we've seen over and over again in this tournament.
Already, though, of course, when it comes to that high ground back inside of this tournament, something that I think hasn't actually been tested so much when it comes to Miramar. We sort of saw glimpses on it right in the first game last time, where we saw players taking that high ground position. We saw them sniping out from the ultra high ground hills. But when it comes to more Picardo, it's going to be more even. And I think, yes, of course, we've already mentioned map knowledge is a thing, but also when it comes to the decision of how to rotate into zone is something else. And I think this is really intriguing coming through from FTB1, because they are going to be playing on the edge. And I suspect a lot of these players are going to follow this similar strategy, because it is so hard, if you are not the first one in, to make it up the top of that hill. When it comes to then making it further into zone, though, it really is going to be how much healing do you have, because depending on how much healing you've got and what your options are in terms of utility and the way that you're prepared to hold on to the edge of the blue zone, that's when it really comes in so important to how exactly and how long you stay behind.
Yeah, you can see what FTB did just now kind of illustrates your point. Sometimes, yes, it would be like, yeah, it seems empty in front of you. Like, just keep running. Why do you run outside of a circle? Like this player right here, 24, but sometimes strategic tanking is the way, right? Like, you assess the landscape, you know it might be scarier to just go straight in. So even if you didn't change your rotation path, it's about when you go for it. So that is going to be quite important right here. This can be quite rough for this player. We've got a lot of high ground against him. He got found behind a cover, or his escape path can be sprayed down, but the third party come in from that high hill. This might be the window that he can use to get into the circle a bit quicker.
And I like how position though coming through from him. Of course, he knows that someone did just shoot down on the player that he was looking at, so he knows there is going to be someone on that hill. So now it's about how to get back inside. But unfortunately, can he get behind the dip? Yes, he does in time. It was a risky decision, but he gets there. And now Rai as well, making their position known with also their own firing. And you can see that even the players of 3, number 8, looking down upon him. This is also risky. Heading down into the zone for a kill. Yes, you've got 6 so far, but you've got the kills already in the bag. Maybe just focus now on that placement.
Oh, there's actually 2 schools of thought here. Like, I know it's tricky to say this, but because this area is so key and so classic, hold that thought, because the fight needs to happen anyway, and Rai takes it. And let me continue with that explanation, right? So sweeping isn't bad. Like, when you have landscapes that are hard to get out of, you don't want to be stuck in between. You want to make sure you clear everything behind, you get some points before you come into what can be a very saturated area already, right? Sometimes you have no priority. You have no chance to be the first ones to go to these high grounds, these great landscapes. So sometimes just, making the best out of the situation. But I completely understand where it's coming from. It's really a 50-50 school of thought. Like, you can go either way, like, but it's so loud. If you're trying to clear, then it just draws the attention from someone from the high ground, right? So it's about map knowledge, as we mentioned before, right? Like, so if you know that you have the next rich to work through to help you out in the rotation, then by all means. And after all, you need to learn those skills, learn those shots, I should say.
Yeah. I think particularly, though, that also is the important thing to think about, because yes, if a kill comes into your arms, by all means take it, but be aware, right, of your own positioning, of that sound cues, because the sound cues, again, something that when you come to the higher levels of play, is really where it gets the nitty-gritty of PUBG Mobile and how you can improve yourself as a player. If you are, of course, as you say, in that open field and it is an open zone, I think that it is, of course, better to play more quiet. But where you have, as you say, ridge lines like this is where it does open the avenue to be so aggressive. And you can see that you can find these sort of shots like this. Maggie goes straight down. Rai as well potentially could be next. And this is disaster for him, because he had the kills, but he doesn't get a placement. But Evan, no, as we just talked about so loud, is now being picked up by opponents.
Oh my god, 40 from the back right there is a battle on the eastern side. 4 players down to 2 in the matter of 5 seconds. And that is the difference that it makes, right? Like, when it comes to landscape, beautiful nade right there, 40% HP, Evano gets to reset.
Also, I just wanted to actually say, low-key note that I completely forgot about is when it comes to desperation in terms of these final zones, Nate, I'm completely oblivious to the fact, too, of course, right now, that they do block out the sounds. So, something to note when it comes to those small, nitty parts of the game is you really could also use nades as almost not like a stun grenade, but similarly when it comes to a stun in your ears.
Oh, complete. I mean, just gets, some kills without giving away any info, right? Like, that is the best, explanation to any utility kills. But it's not just that, like you say, it's the disruption, right? Like, to the visual fields. Like, we talk about the grenades landing close enough, doesn't kill you, but makes your screen shake. You can't aim, so you died anyway. And you can see we keep clearing out some of these plays on this eastern side. And this central part is a little bit tricky to play. As we see, we did not jinx him. We talked about King being, struggling in the final circles last time. Now he's made it to top 7.
To be fair, he's still got 7 players left in the lobby, so it's still him and 6 others. It needs to fall down before he can really save it. He's got those points because he really needs as many points as he can garner right now because he doesn't have the plethora of kills that some of these other players have taken for themselves. I mean, 4 kills already to 36, and of course, coming out inside the tip. Very loud play, so, and of course, rightly so gets punished for it. I was just about to say, King could find this one in, and that's going to be 3, potentially number 4 as the shots come through. Another alternative fire. I think King making a little bit of a risky play. I have no idea why King did not get taken out himself, though. That was almost a free kill if you thought about it.
Wow, but King just got so scared. He panicked, and he did not make sure that he can return some fire, but right now it will be about, of course, all for the panic. Very open, someone shoot at you, you want to find cover and reassess before going through. And sometimes we talk about these smoke silent mode. It can be a in these late games. You can see 45 try to reposition, but King's find the supreme angle.
Oh, but King, this is where he maybe gets the kills in on board. He's got 4 players remaining. If he can grab this chicken in, this is huge for King when it comes to getting in that second game. He has not had a great first game so far, but this is by far his best, Tarzan. And he looks for the next shots. He finds them, connects them down to 51, half HP. They will reposition back under themselves. But look at the zone. It's King's for the taking. This is his game.
440 points in the pocket already, and that is more than, you know, a winner with 1 kill. And we talk about these kills being very important once towards the end. If you have to choose right now, you have to choose 2 more kills, you know, in the second place instead of, you know, a first place with 1, right? But that is just a quick math there. Of course, you can take all 3 kills and win this game, and that is the potential right there. We are counting down for phase 7. This is going to be more and more dreadful, to be fair, Wolf. Like, this landscape is just hard to play, and with a ghillie suit, it may give 51 a little bit of an edge.
I was thinking in my head, like, oh my goodness, King is about to be shot down by player 40 coming into the zone. He did do some scouting. You could see it when he flicked through on his camera. They were coming in behind, but neither of them saw each other. And that could have been King's demise. I think when you are trying to scout around, yes, you're doing the 360, but he's doing it too fast. He's not fully assessing his situation.
Sensitivity is too high. I mean, man's spin too quick. Got too much moves, and right now, mad. Like, okay, we talk about
get off the dance floor.
Get off the dance floor. It's mate. It's too late. No, it's too early. It's 4 a.m. Get out of the club. I need to go back to sleep. It's like, oh, those days, right? Pre-COVID. No. Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of young players in here, so I'm not going to talk about exactly nightlife, but those understand what I'm talking about. But back to this game, let's talk about 51 blowing up his resource for the next rotation. After all, this is on that edge closer northwestern side. He's been playing so loud, and there's no landscape for him to really use. Like, realistically, without the car, it will be quite hard. So Gillison may not save him, but 40 will save him at least 20 points in placement points as we are down to 3 players.
I didn't even realize Mikey was inside the final 4. Big brain fart moment there. But Mikey, of course, one of those other contesting players who have been through all the qualifiers so far. But now he stands the way, pays the path for King, but he gets shot down in the final 3, 51. And this is 40's potential time to usurp over King and take that top spot, because they also sit at 4 kills, but then so does 51. So whoever takes this win is highest on the board, has that huge lead coming into the second match. This is so important.
550 points, right? Like, whoever wins this, and the other one will just get, let me do the quick maths, 500. Not bad at all, right? We talk about having the power factor as a sum of 2 games in your placement plus kills, of course, but 2 games, and they still got that chance. So it's coming down to these basics. And right now, 40 with that elevation and ridge line to protect, but 51 with that ghillie suit may just make it slightly easier. You know, you can crawl up too far up the ridge and show maybe your back, your your butt, maybe, but no, with a ghillie suit at 8 is not the worst. It can be a lot worse.
No bullets in the butt, Tarzan. We don't appreciate those coming through from number 40. Either way, though, I do agree. I think that if he is careful on how he moves, I think 51 has the advantage. Also, to where it comes with the peak, it really is the low ground that has that slight instant advantage in the one-on-one fight. So I think that 51 does have again some maneuvering to do. They are both on the edge of the zone, so depending on where this zone goes, that's crucial to the next part of this game. And I believe we might not be in the final zone. Well, if we are, yes, it is going to be that final zone. I do be correct here right now. It means that both of these players are going to have to continue to push their way forward whether they like it or not, and it's now down to who wants to make that move first. Because do you tank that zone? Because that zone hurts.
Oh, just don't tank it. There's no way. There's no strategic flank. Strategic tank. It's down to those mid-range sprays. 51 tried to challenge it, and both. Okay, no, he got it with the last bullet, and we have the ghillie suit winning over in Miramar.
Man, the ghillie suit came out to play. I think it was a little bit harder, of course, to find a way, find the shots through for 40. Either way, though, 51 comes out on top. We will see you guys, so with, of course, Testry for a second game and all the rest of it after this short break.
Cryptocurrencies, it's like a virtual money. You can store it, you can spend it, transfer it, you can store it for short term or long term, like an investment. But overall speaking, it's like a virtual money. You can use it to buy things either online or offline. The only difference is that cryptocurrencies are quite new compared to fiat money. Virtual cryptocurrency wallets allow users to store crypto, to store different kind of coins or tokens in like a virtual wallet. It's the same as your traditional wallet. You can have euro, dollars, Korean wons, whatever. In a crypto wallet, you have the same, but you store cryptocurrencies online or offline in your virtual wallet.
欢迎大家观看我们 SkillzVault 的决赛。
It is possible to change crypto into fiat money, into traditional money. It is possible through an exchange, a crypto exchange, which accepts both crypto assets and fiat money. Like, for example, you can change from Bitcoin Vault to Korean won or Japanese yen. It's possible. You just need to have an account on a crypto exchange. of cryptocurrencies, it's a big topic. There are crypto that you can mine, or there are cryptos that you can stake to earn more crypto. So, for example, Bitcoin or Bitcoin Vault are cryptocurrencies that allows mining. So you can connect your device, like your computer, and your computational power can be used to mine cryptocurrencies. Right now, it's quite difficult to mine bigger cryptos, like Bitcoin, for example. You need a lot of computational power to be able to mine even one Bitcoin. With Bitcoin Vault, it's much easier.
大家期待我们 SkillzVault 的决赛吧！
And we are back after the first game, and we have learned a lot from this game. Actually, for example, that Shintai means mentality, but also that 51 have won in a Gilisud. It was very, very nice game. And guys, when it comes to China region, week after week, I see how much competition there is, because we saw, for example, in NFO, when he was fighting, he got 2 quick eliminations. He was fast, he was clever, but then he was surrounded by people, and actually I think nobody, even the best player in the world, couldn't survive that, because, you know, when 3 players are shooting, he was putting a lot of smokes. I like this game so much, and this was actually my favorite moment, because it was showing that there is so much competition in China. And what is your favorite moment, Highland Wolf, in this match?
Oh man, I think the favorite for me was really when you look towards those final few moments. You could see King was moving around that final zone. He had the ultimate control, but that moment that I explained, when he was almost letting through those players to find that fire upon him, before that even, he was getting taken down, almost running, panicking across those final flats. That was the most intense final real part for me. But quite frankly, I think that it comes down to also then King in this next game being a little bit more stable, handling those emotions, because that's something I think was the difference maker in him really coming out on top.
Yeah, and we saw King in these eliminations, qualifiers, we saw him previously. But for me, when it comes to King, the best situation was when he threw a Molotov and he was like almost dead, and he was fighting with his opponent, and he was, I don't know, burned out, and it was really, really nice, because, you know, sometimes we say in like in CS:GO language that is timing, bad timing, when you are holding a knife or a grenade and you want to throw it, but the opponent is like shooting in your head, like, or actually at you. But Professor, I would like to ask you, because we were talking about this smart aggression, in China region, but we saw today 2 situations. The first one when Mikey was fighting and he was waiting for his opponent, and he got killed, he got an elimination. And the second one when NFO was pushing so hard and he got elimination. So what is the difference between smart aggression and silly rush?
Oh, it's hard to say, right? It's using the info that you have. Of course, I think the first thing is to set the scene, right? You know the landscape, you know where you fight, so you know whether there's a third party, for example. But when you come to executing maybe a 1v1, like behind cover, something like that, it's the small maneuvers, really. I'll give you an example. Like you see someone behind a tree, and the guy behind the tree knows that you spot him, and then you try to pull a nade, and then he thinks that's what you're doing, and that he takes that time to rotate out. So it's a little bit of a mind game, really, and of course, like, you need those mechanics to make it through.
Okay, that was a simple but very important answer for me. So it depends, actually. It depends.
Yeah.
But when you feel confident, you can do this, but actually we saw a moment when it was a silly rush, yeah. So yeah. And talking about, okay, I see you now in the camera. Okay, it is really, yeah, Professor Tarzan is a very nice guy. So when it comes to Miramar, because I have never asked that question, which map you like the most and for what? Because when it comes to Miramar, I saw, you know, these angles, those high grounds. I like it so much, yeah. Erangel is more open, yeah, more open fields. And so, which map you like the most? And I have a joke. I will say that. So,
do it.
How will you call a guy who is on a high ground and he's like eliminating everyone?
I don't know. What do you call him, Testry?
High ground wolf.
Oh man, that's some cringe. Let me just put myself away.
Okay. So go back to my question.
Not be like everyone goes a little bit lower right now to avoid being part of the joke. I need to adjust my chair. But nice try. It isn't too bad. And what was the initial question again?
Okay,
before your joke.
Which map you like the most?
Oh yes, I'll let High Ground Wolf say it first.
Man, honestly though, High Ground Wolf, Miramar, that's the map I love, and I will stick to that name, okay? Because the beep buzz is there, and Tarzan, you know how much I love the beep buzz, okay? It's like my one true love in this world of PUBG Mobile. You know it is me and the beep buzz forever.
Okay, and for you, Professor?
Like, to be fair, like I love Miramar as well. I know it's not quite good for diversity and variety, but it's true. Like I think it came from, you know, the feelings from the playing days. I'd say as a player, you know, I studied the map quite a lot, and I think that's the map where you gets heavily rewarded for map knowledge. So it's like a lot more, right? Like, and you can punish whoever has a little bit of a slip in knowing their position to the finest details, because there's no grass for you to prone in. So you make one mistake, you get punished, and I think that is where, you know, the skill level really comes through as well. So that's my reason. I think it's a pretty clean map.
All right. So, if there will be some new map when there is only a jungle, I think the best guy on this map will be called Professor Tarzan.
Okay, yes. You know what?
That was shameful.
You know, like, of course, no, some of you, like, at least the Highland Wolf knowing me, like, my alias, this name, this brand has a lot of meanings, like, behind it, like, whether you want to say philosophies or whatnot, but there's one very simple reason, was it actually emerged in the days that I played solo squad, and I don't know, I won like 6 games in a row in Sandhawk, because it's a smaller map, shorter games as well, and just rush ranks so quickly. As I said, probably decent in the jungle, so help me thought about this name. So you're not wrong, Testry. You're slowly trying to unravel. Is that unravel? No, you're just kind of showing my story. I think unraveling the story, yeah. And so I like it. You're not wrong.
Okay, so when it comes to Brazil finals, we will tell your whole story of Tarzan's life.
He's it's like his home, right? It's like the rainforest in Brazil.
Love it.
I think it will be much different than actually the Tarzan story, yeah, like living in the jungle and be raised by monkeys and stuff. But I think it will be
monkeys?
Quite interesting.
Triggered. Go read up. They are not monkeys. It is different.
Okay.
Send this guy to a biology lesson, please. And you know what? If you don't know, like the actual character in the fiction as well is actually British.
Okay. So it was.
Do you guys
not
know
monkeys?
that?
It was not monkeys.
No.
Who raised them? What the hell?
It's not.
Okay.
It's the same. What will I say? In biological terms, same class, but not the actual same species. I think gorilla would be one step closer, if not completely correct.
Okay. I'll check that. I'll check that. But I also check the timer, and it's like 30
Ooh,
seconds to
yes.
start the game. Last qualifiers, last game, last chance to be with us in the final. Let's go, guys. Let's go.
Oh man, Tarzan, it's a few more seconds so we get into a wrangle. There's no jungle whatsoever. It's still trees this time around on this map, so it's okay, Tarzan. You can still swing from something. We're gonna head through, of course, to that final game, but straight away, the player names that come through to me. Mikey, King, of course, 51 and 40. These four players who made it to the final four, they're the ones in my mind. I also believe, now this is awful for me because I can't actually remember the names. Forgive me because I don't speak Mandarin, but that player who had 6 kills, right? RV, whatever, I think that was also now the opportunity for them. 7 kills, actually, should I say, with that extra one at the end before we got shot down. They could also step up.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit of a challenge that we did not expect, right? At least for you. Like, forgetting, not knowing which player to play. That's always going to be an
It feels like I'm back to, like, the noob caster days where, like, you don't say the player names and you're just like, player number 2, or, like, team number 5. Like, this is like what we're going back to.
Yeah, then you're told that you should not do that. Address them by the name because we're trying to create storylines here. Like,
oh yeah,
well,
stories.
the names are pretty nice, right? Like, we talk about
heat
storylines.
Insulation.
Yeah, exactly. Where do you go from there? Like a Vikendi map, maybe? That would be good. Like from Vikendi to Miramar. So what heat? Heat what? Like
wow, really burning it up on Vikendi, melting that snow, Tarzan.
You know what? Like last week, I know you said we have an Erangel map right now. Last week we had double Miramar, so you know what?
True.
Well, was it double Erangel last week? It was a double last week, but we are back.
It was a double.
It was a double.
I'm glad we're back.
Now...
I missed that.
Yes.
I didn't realize that we had a double.
I missed this.
This is how far my brain goes back. My brain is like, it only has some storage space. It's like one of those like really bad laptops from like the noughties, you know? It just doesn't actually compute anything anymore. It just... It forgets, Tarzan.
I mean, like, you can feel this man's pain in his recent struggle with computers, right? Like, he's trying to make analogies out of laptops. So, I mean, we've got some time to kill now. 40 players, probably not going to be so hot. No, it's hard to say. I mean, military base, at least 3 of them going towards potentially the C building. But before they touch the ground, you've got probably 10 seconds to tell people about your sad PC story. Go.
No, I don't want to talk about my sad PC story and how my GPU got it back and was like, yes, we have fixed the motherboards. And I'm like, hallelujah, mother is back in town. And then the GPU wasn't connected. And me is much noob when it comes to connecting things in the case of the PC. And now it's back again for another repair. GP Daddy is going to also get fixed. And then Daddy and Mummy are going to be together. And then the Highland Wolf son can join them in harmony. And we'll be a family of 3.
Oh, God. It goes to a very interesting way. As you see, Mikey, it's heat insulation that takes him out. And that's okay.
Oh, man.
Rip to our dear soldier in military base. But you know what? Soon we have to head back to Pachinki.
True.
Because that was an extremely hard Pachinki that we were seeing there. Like 7, 8 players to say the least. Man, is going to be very, very crazy.
That is indeed the case. I excited though for also this South Island. I always love when teams drop in the South Island. Unfortunately, not gonna see it. Sad moment in the chat, boys, because we is gonna have a northern zone this time around. And I think, quite frankly, when it comes also to the potential of where to drop, Pachinki seems like it could be one of those locations where you start to find those players stay a little bit longer based on, of course, where this zone is tending to go. But also, I think that the positioning is here much more important to be a little bit proactive. I think that Miramar, yes, is great, but also you see people tend to go behind the zones, try to tank a little bit more. I think with Wrangler there's more scope, right? You said about the grass, you said about how there's also more tree cover. You can be a little bit more pushy when it comes to finding those positions inside.
I completely agree. I think it's just, I don't know, like, because you've got more options, right? Like here you've got some grass. If you just find one bush, but one very good bush, you can see it as cover. So you're not forced to make some slightly wider rotation. So I think it's absolutely correct. And right here, I think is a good example of this region being pretty good. I mean, these two players, when they got into footstep range, they both stopped pretty quickly. And they decide to limit the amount of info that they're giving to each other. So I have to respect that. And right now they've got some time to kill. Like now in the zone seems like, since this is those rich compound to the south coastline of the main island, I think we will have a main island finish. So not going to have one of your favorites, I have to say. The South Island finishes are too spicy.
They are too spicy, but unfortunately... Oh my days, that's some spice inside the lunchbox right there. Don't break up your sandwiches, 54. You still need to keep the loot intact. As of course, they do have another kill on the board for themselves. Two vehicles actually to choose from, but which one do you go for, Tarzan? Do you go for the one with windows, or do you go for the one without? That is the real question here. Oh, you go for the one with windows!
Okay.
Tarzan.
Yes, it's cold.
Sorry.
Give me some windows. I will clean it. Okay, what tune is this? Can someone Google it for me? I don't know, use some apps. Because
good jam to it. Put me back on the camera and show me.
It's Mandarin rap.
I know, right?
It's so good. Ooh,
we should add it. We should add it to just every.
Get back into the car. Let me listen.
Okay, true.
Okay. Yeah, I will not hype him up. No, I'm going to be unprofessional. You didn't give me the tune that I want. Go back to lobby. But, you know, jokes aside, you know... Okay, you know, music, right? They talk about names, if they can be so poetic. Maybe the type of rap that we get in this language is of a different type of beast, you know? And you know what I actually quite like? Mandarin rap. You hear a lot more poetic senses into it, but also a lot more emotions in a way.
You also grew up with, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. And right here, on this side, he's still trying. This man's not there anymore.
True. I can't believe that we've not even seen anyone really die. Well, there it goes. Inside Pachinki. I wanted to see it. FTB gonna strike one in onto the corner, but also this is an intriguing fight here because a lot of the players who are going down here, yes, they're all gonna take each other out, but none of them are one of those top contenders. They are really looking for the points when it comes to carrying through from that previous game. And that's something really intriguing to say now coming in to the rest of these potential kills that can be taken up later on. And for particularly those players who had those high kills but didn't have the high position, we talked about RB with the 70, he had a Miramar. Players are going to be wiped out before we can even take the opportunity to grab those points in the second one. And that looks like it could have been the stun grenade. I think if that was a normal grenade, side note, that probably would have been a kill.
It would be pretty close, I have to say. And sometimes in this range, like very close range combat, in a city like this, you don't really need to use that utility. Like, I mean, pulling the pin is sometimes enough, right? And we see Xingtai getting a kill. In Pachinki, like the name that like Test Tree also know how to pronounce. That was great. But right now, 46, this player, this is not his first qualification. He's come back, and I like it. I like people trying their luck. Not really luck, trying their skill again. They try to improve and make something out of it. And we bring ourselves over to Gaika. In a very different type of landscape, I have to say. When we talk about pulling the pin and maybe manipulating some movements, getting some movements out of your opponents to get some audio cues. Not really the play right here. It's more about lowering space, I have to say. And right here, 24 cruising his way into the headshot hills. And I mean, speaking about headshot, I just really want to see some boat action snipers, man.
Okay, but also something that really interests me and something that we haven't actually really talked all about that much is about funneling your opponents around inside the map.
Yes.
And particularly when you come back towards that South Island, you talk about those Erangel 2.0 woods just behind the compound that we talked about. I think actually something really valuable there when it comes to controlling not only the smaller space inside a compound, but also about a wider space around you.
Man, like, absolutely. So important. And right now we talk about controlling spaces. Apartments is a very hard area to play. I feel like it's just dangerous. It's too, how should I say this? It's dangerous for those who drive past usually, but slightly better in solo mode because there's too many grounds to hold, too many sides to hold, and I don't think it's going to be easy for anyone who wants to hold apartments down. But same for Pochinki, especially right now, they don't have a spot in the circle right now, more than 1,000 meters away from the circle. These players need to outsmart each other. You know, like the rotations. How do you actually? What's the next cover? Okay, if you want to guard or maybe gatekeep these players exiting from the city, and I think that will be the key idea here. Seems like we're down to 2 players in this very, very key hot drop spot.
I always think coming down to about controlling these cities is it being stealthy, having that trigger discipline, something so important, particularly when you're in that solo mode. And you can see that when players do go for that rush, do try to find those stun grenades, do try to find those peak shots in, it doesn't tend to work out for them. They start to get surrounded by other players around a location that they maybe didn't see. Again, something like the pin here, letting that position be known and instead having to now move further back. They do try to blast out one grenade, and now they've been stunned up. They find a shot, but it's barely enough. 46 takes down MVK1. And MVK going to have to say goodbye, unfortunately, to their run inside this tournament. Did not have the best of game number 1, Cyber.
I mean, the player that 46 killed is also called Xing Tai. Yeah, like, seems to be, you know, some of these players want to use important terms to as their in-game name, right? I can understand that. It's like you ask, like we've got a few psychos, you know, in the scene, like a lot of them, just because people like that word, right? But of a different team, different ways to spell it as well. And it's, by the way, it's also something that's possible. Like in Chinese, there's so many words written differently, pronounced in a very similar way. And okay, that is extremely scary. 39 rounds is the name, and his name is 41. I mean, that's extremely confusing. But right here, we are close to seems to be a shelter side, and this is going to be a little bit tricky for Mikey. And you know what? We talked about Mikey not making it through. We've got more than one Mikey Wolf.
Oh no! Oh, the confusion has hit my brain. We talked about computers and cannot compute. It is overloaded. At least we remove one of the equation.
Well, we've lost 2 Mikeys now, and so yeah, there's a big rip right there.
Mikey in chats. R.I.P.
You know what? Like, I feel like that means that we will not see either Mikeys in our finals because.
But which Mikey is it, Tarzan? Which Mikey?
I don't know, but I don't think either of them made it. Like, one of them made 4th, like last game, and both of them are now out before 18. But you know what? Something that we have not considered. There might be a 3rd Mikey.
I did not think about this plot twist, Tarzan. This is one of those Hollywood moments where you really realize, psych, Mikey was here all along.
My God. Oh, man. Okay. You know what, like, we can accept that. Like, it just really forced me to say, hey, there's a lot for me to learn if I want to cast in multiple languages, right? Like, names can be so tricky. And right here, 39 rounds. Or should we just go by 41? I think you know this one. It's literally.
But he has 40 bullets in his clip, Tarzan. That's where it gets really confusing.
Yeah, the number is 41, but 40 rounds in the clip, and there's 39 rounds in his name. So what's the next thing? My God, my brain. What are these? And
wow.
Right now, I like these.
True. I do like airdrops too, Tarzan, but He gets away from it. He gets away from it, and he is safe for now. 39 rounds, 40 bullets to clip. Player 41 cannot find the shots. I think that's what we should call him, by the way. Right now, we should just do it as a whole. You know, a full line of text. You know, just say it. 39 into the 40, into the 41. I think that is the best way to approach such a spectacular meet.
That was good, by the way. Like, just okay. I'm waiting for the music, by the way. So let's both shut up. But you know what? I can't as well because I want to talk about this spot.
Tarzan, eat your own words. You gotta listen to the music. This is like the only time I get to listen to like the peace music. Okay, this is some hype Mandarin rap. Oh no, he stopped the music. Tarzan, he stopped. He's going in for the fight. Why would you fight when you can listen to the rap? 39 takes out another 40 bullet clip. As now he takes on DKG around the corner. He's running out of firearms and he will drop down. And don't have to pronounce his name anymore. DKG takes him down.
Wow, there's a very, very good use of the compound as well. Like, it's actually a very strong compound if you have a good split on that north side. But what split? Right, this is the solo mode, and DKG just found the moment here. Maybe they're just of the same, you know, caliber.
Oh, yeah.
They know this compound is strong. They want to contest it. But those, you know, CQC moments, the pre-fire came in stronger, and that was a little bit of a sad moment there. It was sent off that player taking that 13th place. And right now, you know what? Like, I feel like that first game, maybe we have missed some players who have gotten themselves so many kills, but we didn't see them, you know, in that end game. So maybe that is, you know, the difference there, and they can really pop out and surprise us by the final result. But right now, Phase 4 does pop, and it's a little bit too open for 34 to get in.
I'm just going to continue to talk about something random, and in my mind, right, we saw DKG 21 inside a building. There was a couch,
Okay.
Tarzan. Could you imagine if you could sit on couches in PUBG? Could you imagine the outplay? Someone comes in the building, you sit, you fire, and then you sit down on the couch, and you dodge out the headshots by sitting down and continue to fire and take them out? Oh my goodness. That would be something stylish. That would be something stylish indeed.
You know what? This is your friend, 80. His name is Fox Background Music. You have to root for him
Yes! Yes! Fox background music. This is what I'm looking for.
now. What does the fox say?
No.
I was thinking that I'm setting him up for it. I'm trying to embarrass him. Will he take it? He did.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
It's not embarrassment. It's just pure. It's
not.
just pure skill. Is what it is. Pure skill.
Okay. I mean, someone clip that one, please. And right here on this eastern edge, and you know what is very interesting, because in the name of player 24, that is the word that directly translates to pig, and also another word that translates to horse. So I don't know. This is the zoo right now. We've got foxes. And usually the fox are the cheeky ones, right? Like right here, they enter the zoo, enter the farm, and try to kidnap some. No, sorry, that's you. That's the wolf. It's not the fox. Let's see where the fox is taken.
The fox is dead. He's down. He's kaput, Tarzan. He got kapowed by his fellow comrade, and now 78. In around the edge of the zone, gets caught out, tries to go out the zone, but will get wiped anyways. 6 up also to 2 kills, but 6 might be dropping down. He's inside the open, rightly so, on the edge of the zone. That's some long shots almost taking him out.
Oh no, his name is The Game Should End Now. That's literally his name. And I looked over and he just died. Like, don't.
Oh, Tarzan, no, don't do me like this. Don't do it like this, Tarzan. You don't need to come out with the Chinese knowledge all the time. It's so sad.
No, but no, it's not that. Like, it makes things funny. Like, his name is literally The Game Should End Now.
Well, yeah, but
it
like...
did. I'm sharing with you, you know, the joy of knowing that.
True.
And the puns. You know, and that's the thing, right? It's like, the puns what we like sometimes in casting, like from the players' names. We didn't get to do it a lot.
Yeah.
Like for this region, and I'm here to fill that void, right? Like, so you have to take it. You have to take it. And yes, now I finish this.
I
know
lap
you
it
don't
up,
quite like this.
Tarzan.
Do you like yes,
I
now
lap it up
finishes?
with both hands.
Okay.
Hmm?
I appreciate you.
Oh,
Yes, Naya.
I do.
Yes, Naya, finish now. How do
Yeah.
you feel about this one?
I love Yes, now I finished. I was actually thinking of talking about it if Testry was like, "Yo, Highland Wolf, what do you like about a wrangle?" like last time, and I would be like, "Well, you know what? I talked about the South last time around, but Yasnaya Polyana. Oh my goodness gracious me! Is Yasnaya Polyana a beautiful final zone? You've got Salva beside you. You've got that 4 stack that 9 is currently in. You've also got the road to split in between. And you always have that craziness of those houses packed up against each other. How do you navigate around? Because yes, if you're a team, right, you then maneuver. So I'm trying to make a serious point here, and I can't really think about what I'm trying to. I'm just memeing Tarzan. I was like, I'm gonna turn this into a serious, and then we just can't. We just can't.
Why? Just do it. Just do it.
Just
You know what?
do
I'm
it.
going to say-
Just do it.
I'm going to say
boys.
this first.
Yeah.
This player right here, 46. We're seeing him time and time again.
Yeah, but it's his
He was
tail.
the-
His tail distracted me. He's got a
Okay.
beautiful suit. Okay.
Hey, but you know what? You know what's interesting? The last word of this name literally translates to tail.
Yes.
My brain
Boom.
is
mind-blowing.
actually that mind blown. But 46, we've seen that player again and again. He was the king of Pachinki this time round. He got 6 kills. We don't know if he did somewhat decently in that first one and came in and continued to make it to around top 2 or 3. There's a chance that he could be the winner of this qualification.
There's hope. Are you telling me that in the 0s and 1s and inside all and none, there is hope somewhere?
Yes, my son, there is always a chance. There's always hope. Listen, brace yourself.
Thank you, Papa Tarzan. I will believe in myself more. I promise.
Yeah, because you're very strong. You can be very, very good. You know, this is the name of this player. Very strong. Is exactly.
I like how you tied
what
that
it
in there.
translates
I actually was legitimately thinking you were talking about me there, but alas, only 25.
I was trying to, you know, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's true. That was
And,
skillful, Tarzan. I like that.
Brilliant.
I like that skill.
And you know what? One thing that I really enjoy, but I have not abused it yet, is the fact that I can say whatever the heck I want about the translation of the words.
That
and
is
then you
so
guys just have to
true.
believe me. But
I would believe
I
you.
I swear, I have not done it once. Everything I've said is completely legit. Clip every single thing, find a professional translator, and they will give me credit for what I've said. I
But you
guarantee
are a professional translator. You could be. You could be if you wanted
Ooh.
to, Tarzan. Maybe,
Okay, I'm
maybe that's
retiring.
something you
Goodbye.
could do. You could think about it, right? You know?
In
Go to the global
esports, right?
stage of these top Chinese
Bring me,
teams. Sign 'em up.
exactly. Bring me to the globals. I will do a little bit of analysis and then do good translation. I promise.
Man,
Ooh, that
interviewing
could
must
be
be
an
so
idea.
cool, though. Right? I mean, you get to
fun.
know all of these players personally. You get to see and feel their emotions, feel how and what they're thinking at the end and before each game.
Oh, yeah.
That's the next level analysis that you can take from that.
Yeah, I think there's only one thing that I'm worried about is, now after all, is my third language, like Mandarin. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Like if they are speaking too quickly, and I'm supposed to be the one
True.
translating, but they are too quick in the way that they speak.
You
it makes it
miss.
hard for me. Oh god.
Yeah.
Like, I will practice for that. I have a lot of, you know, excuse, or should I say not excuse, like I've got legit reasons to watch a particular type of drama, like Chinese series, you know, like watch Taiwan stuff. I don't know, like, and then no one can complain. My mom can't complain, girlfriend can't complain, and 46 needs to make sure that he dodge out on that molly. And this is one key position that we'd like talking about, right? On this eastern side with elevation. Let's see who wants to take this one.
I always think of it now for 46. It is big, bushy red tail. When they're coming up this building so hard, but he takes it anyways. I thought of it 9. Could have just stuck behind the staircase, caught him coming up. But either way, he grabs a kill. 7 kills, by the way, right now. I mean, if he can keep this up, maybe there's a world where he can overtake this. I mean, you talked about 40-51, who were the players alive last time. Are they even still here this time around? Well, there's 51.
I mean, yes, exactly. I mean, like, two kills more than the winners last game. That's already 60 points. That's 3 ranks of a difference, and that is going to be quite huge, right? We talk about maybe just getting 1 or 2 more kills, and I think that might just be enough when it comes to points. But we have to think about what he got the last game as well, and right here seems like we will lose this part pig, part horse with a tail, whatever that was. Man, it was a long name. Like, who could think about that?
Man, such interesting names, yet we don't have the time because they died too fast, Tarzan. And talking about dying, if 51 does not pick up these kills, mathematically right, there is a world in which the 7 kills could translate into that victory. Because if 51 doesn't get those kills, you're still about, what, 2 kills, 60 points behind? So if they actually match each other, even 1-2 points difference, and make it another 1, right? 8 now, then it makes it so hard to be able to match the standings that 46 is putting up similarly here in this one game. But did 46 also pick up points the last game? That is the one thing that I'm concerned about, right? Because that could also be the overtaking point.
It's huge. I mean, 8 kills now. I think the last winner got 5. Yeah, and that is only like 550 points. And right now at 5th position, let me do a quick, the 328. It's 560 already. Like, that's already a lot of points. Like, that is more than those players. So it's about
510 was the most, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like the 550 was the most earlier, and right now it's about 550. Yeah, now he's got 560, and this is going to be tough. Like, at least for us, mathematically. I mean, of course, for him it's quite good. He gets to overlook this field on this powerful edge position on the south side. Is comparing the points that this player 46 got in first game to those top players in the first game. Now, whatever they got in the second game was very, very low.
Oh no, 25, he tried to go in, no time, that at 51, they get themselves a kill, this is what they needed, gifted straight into their arms. It's down to the final 4, outside though now here from the S9 Pollyanna side and in towards those more open fields. Intriguing because you start to look towards those 4 stacks on the edge, you start to look towards player 45 on their position, heading into that open ground. DKG though, also could be not long for his world. Do we just step in? We take a little bit of tickle damage through from 51's nade. One will do it, but the second one shouldn't land so much. Tries to find them, but will only pop them slightly lower. Now would be the time, though, I would argue. 51. Oh, did that bounce out? Yes, it did. I thought that could have been the kill. They could have gone straight in for the kills, because especially as the zone is moving in, you want to try to create that pressure while DKG was low. But now that they've healed back up, it makes the fight a lot harder, and instead, for the point now that you're trying to make 51, you're trying to take now much an even fight. Now, health bar is a difference, but look at that, another kill picked up, taking advantage of third party. And he has everything in his ability to steal this game away. Is it going to be double digits?
Well, it seems like they want to end this with a little bit of battle of the mid-range spray. But you can see 46 already very aware. Oh, maybe he's running out of ammo. Need to have a little bit first. Find last piece of gear. I mean, they both know each other's position. So it's about small rotations now. 46 making something happen. I think it's great to start moving and try to strike from a different spot. So it's about 45 and his map knowledge. Thinking about where 46 could peak, thinking about where his retreat path could be, and I think he's losing time. This is not good. He's spending time to loot and instead of keeping an eye out to get info. Now into the car with 46 skill, this is good enough for him to spray it down.
I feel like 45 is making a big mistake right now. He's We've seen these types of plays before, but you're a solo player. Do you get around? Can he find a shot? He's so low, but also 45 taking damage even more so when he gets taken out. The double 10 kills through for the Red Fox in a major game through coming for this player. 700 points, I do believe it was just picked up in that one game alone.
Absolutely. No, that is 700.
Yeah.
I think it might have been, when it comes to a single game record in top 3, for sure. And I think with that player's, level, it would be safe to say that he probably got a very decent game 1 as well. Probably not the best, because we didn't see him in that end game. We talked about this region being very harsh, on small mistakes, and you can see he was very aggressive. Maybe he lost a little bit by a small margin in some fights in that first game, but that game alone could put him in a very, very good position.
I really am excited to see how close that came, because it's all about, did they play that first game? Where did they come to? Because if rightly so, we talked about players being amazing on Erangel, not so much on Miramar. That's a concern. Testry, what do you think about that game as well?
Hey, I like it so much. So I actually love this China qualifiers, and I will miss those qualifiers. But when I'm thinking that we'll meet again in next Sunday, and then there will be Chinese final, I'm very excited. So guys, the final game of today is over. So a lot of people are actually now counting the points, so we don't know who is the winner of today, but hopefully, well, I think we will get the message in a minute. So we learned a lot about this game. For example, what does the fox say? Yeah, and we know it's from actually both of you. But guys, for now, I think it is time to sum it up. So let's summarize this qualifications. For me, it was actually the best qualifiers so far, and Brazil has to try hard to if they want to be better than China. Actually, for me, it was the best qualifiers so far. And what is your opinion on that topic, Highland Wolf, please?
Really, I think that it is just so good, the level it is coming through from China and the players there. I think that they clearly seem to be some of the best in Asia, if not possibly the world, you could argue, in terms of their individual play. Their team play, though, is something that's really exciting. And as you said, right, coming into the finals, I really am looking forward to seeing how they play as duo, because if they can then in a team come up on top and even stronger than they've already showed so far, it's really scary coming out what these players can bring.
Yeah, and it all comes down to the most important question, and we are talking about this every single time, actually. And I want to answer yes or no. So, can China beat every single country and be on the top? Yes or no, Professor Tarzan?
You know what?
You know what?
It was hard to say before.
Okay.
The answer is yes. I would choose yes this time. I think it's a bet, for, the culture, like home, basically Chinese in heritage. So I'm going to go for that one. And I think with the level that we've seen, so far from these players, they're so good that I think even in the good region, in a decent lobby, they can still make it through. And I think it's also the level of the influences as well. Like we could see, like from clips, that they are very passionate about the game. It's not just an influencer that likes the many games and happen to stumble across this game. No, they are focused on this game. This is their expertise, and I think that can really show us something that they can really prove in those finals.
All right, and you, Highland Wolf, will the players and the stars be able to be number one among all countries?
Oh man, I think that it is possible, but again, you always have to look at the entire lobby, and you have to acknowledge that the Chinese lobbies, even in the duos, are going to be an entirely new level when it comes to what you saw in Japan, in Vietnam, in Taiwan. They're all going to be, even in Brazil, quite frankly, is going to be harder for them all. That's what I predict, and I think that the likelihood we actually get a game victory coming through from the Euros, not so much, I would have to say, but if it does come through, major victory, because it sets them apart individually from the rest in their region.
All right, thank you so much. I'm smiling because I've heard Taiwan, and I was thinking, all right, so I skipped one, maybe.
Oh no, Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam.
yes, it was Vietnam. So we all are excited to see China in the final. I'm also excited to see the Brazilian guys, because I've spoke with 2 guys, and they are very happy to be here, and they are very motivated, and I think they will be one of the best. So guys, we still don't know who is the winner of today. I think when the points will be counted, there will be an information on our SkillzVault Discord, so the winner will for sure know that he needs to be here in a week. Thank you so much, guys, for today. It was a beautiful 4 weeks, full of emotion, full of skill. And now it's the time for the grande finale, for the grand final. Thank you so much, guys. And feel invited to the finals, because in a week we'll meet here in a Sunday, and it will be very good day. I can assure you. I promise it will be best finals so far. Stay with us, stay with SkillzVault, and see you in a week.
Bitcoin Vault is the only cryptocurrency on the market that allows reversible transactions. It is possible through a unique set of private and public keys. We use those to allow users to perform different kind of transactions. So for example, if you are sending crypto from one address to another, you are using a combination of one of the 3 keys. If you change your mind in the process and you want to cancel and reverse this transaction, you are using a different private key. So our 3 key security structure is a concept of managing 3 private keys that are a common tool in crypto, where you can use different keys to perform different kind of transactions, and at the end you can either reverse it or speed it up.
SkillzVault 的决赛。
Price of cryptocurrencies are determined by the market, by the game between supply and demand. It's the same story with forex markets or stocks markets or commodities. If supply is bigger than demand, then price drops. If the demand is bigger than supply, price increases. Bitcoin Vault is very similar to the king of crypto, Bitcoin, but the main difference is that it is possible to reverse a transaction with our cryptocurrency. With Bitcoin Vault, if you make a mistake, if you change your mind, you can always reverse your transaction. You have 24 hours for that. It's a limited time opportunity.
欢迎大家收看我们 SkillzVault 的节目。
For the first time, I saw you dancing. The room was filled with your grace and